Feels good in here.
It does.
Man, you got so much stuff you haven't set on the floor.
I got a bunch to get put in here this weekend too.
Got one of the biggest trucks in the whole world, and having to set stuff in the floor, you got so much. Man, this thing is packed. Well, how's life been treating you since last week?
Can't complain.
That's good. See, you got the TV going up there.
Yeah, I got the flyer from last month loaded, and then this month too, so still had some stuff left from it that hopefully folks will see and
Trigger that impulse
buy it on up.
There you go. The name of the game. With some new hats.
So,
Well, what new, cool, and exciting tools you got this week?
got one of our kits back in. Let's see if we can get her opened up and look at it. Been waiting on these to come back in for a while. They sold out quick the last time we had them. And this kit is your half gun, the 3/8 gun.
Yeah.
Comes with a light. Well, sit that there. Your charger and 2 batteries.
Cool.
So we've been waiting on these a while to come back in, and finally got some more back in on them.
So the 1/2 inch is 1,200 foot-pounds breakaway.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3/8 is
275.
275.
Yep. And I don't know all the details on this new gun yet, but it is. They just redid this gun. It's got the impact assist in it now. I've not had a chance to read up on it, but
I wonder if that's like after it don't need to impact, it'll just free spin it off.
Yeah, and instead of just running out wide open, it'll break it loose and then ease it off. I'm pretty sure it's what
I
that
actually
is.
like that. That way you don't sling it out of the socket.
It's 1,200 foot-pounds of breakaway and 1,900 RPMs. So
cool. And that's the one that's on sale, right?
it was, yes.
Yeah.
But we've been waiting a while on these to come back in, and finally got them back in. So
that's cool.
I put that on here this morning if we could unbox it today.
So did you ever get any of the extractor sockets in?
Yes, I did. The ones with the push-out pin in? Yes, I do have some of those.
So here's the part number on these. It's an 8-piece.
It's the 8-piece set. They're a 3/8 drive on them. But you can always put a socket on the outside of it as well. And it comes with the threaded pusher to push your lug nut or whatever back out the top side. And push it back out the top when you thread it in.
That's pretty cool right there.
And then the nice thing is if you lose it or break this piece, that it does have its own part number for replacement.
Yep, that's a good deal.
So
those jokers look funny, don't they?
They do. And it comes on a pretty neat rail. It's a magnet rail with just the little prongs you sit them on.
Right.
And then just stick her on there.
Let me see the inside of one of them.
It makes you wonder how the inside of that really works, not being that you don't really
Yeah, it don't have like the twist on it, like.
or feel the teeth to it. But
That's crazy.
they say they work.
So the 18 is the biggest it goes to. But I guess if it's a stripped off 19, you could just hammer it on there and let her eat.
Yep. And then this is the 3/8 drive set. I figure in a time they will do a 1/2 inch drive set as well. I've not heard that yet, but I mean, I figure they're going to end up going bigger than just that right there.
Right. I know I've heard some people talk about them and read some stuff online about them, and kind of the only complaint was how thick the sidewalls were. It was kind of hard to get in some places, but I'm sure they have a reason for that, maybe because of the strength of it or something like that. But from what I've read, they're designed to hammer on with a hammer and then go to work with them.
Cause see, they expect you to use a hammer because they say, even on here it has a
not hammer.
A do not hammer. Make sure the screw's not in it if you're going to use the hammer, because they know you're going to use a hammer.
Right. And those have a full lifetime warranty, so a guy beats them on and it messes the inside of them up. Just get them replaced.
And, I could see if you're trying to get in a wheel with a lug nut, some of those that don't have long lug nuts, the short lug nuts in there, I could see that being a problem getting in the wheel. But
hopefully they'll come out with like a lug nut socket set of those, kind of like the flip socket, sort of, that's made specifically for lug nuts.
A thinner deal, something like that.
With the larger sizes, and that'd be a pretty cool set right there.
So, pretty neat deal.
Yep. Might have to get a set of those and do a test run on them, see how well they work. I like it because in a lot of places, you may not be able to, once you hammer that on there, you may not have room for your ratchet to go on the back side. At least with that, you could use a wrench on it and be able to get to it.
One thing about it, I mean, the R.B.R.T stuff it's where it's at.
Yep, that's awesome. There ain't no doubt. Well, I heard rumors that they may be coming out with screwdrivers. You heard that?
Hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah.
That may be something they're waiting to unveil at Tool Show or something like that this year, but
I guess those guys are constantly, trying to update their line and make it better and, add more stuff to it. And that's pretty cool that, they're thinking ahead, like it ain't just sockets or just, torques or whatever. So
an R.B.R.T. Phillips head screwdriver, I'd own a set. I mean,
especially a number one. It seems like number one screws are the biggest pain in the butt on Phillips screws. I don't know if it's because they're so little, they just want to cam out so easy, but I don't know that I've ever found the perfect number one screwdriver that will,
well, and I think part of it too now is fasteners aren't made.
Yeah, they're cheaper.
Like what they used to be either.
Yeah, everything's about how cheap can you get it done and how mass produced it can be. So I know I had some of the people that was talking, they was interested in like the expert stuff and how much cheaper it was, and I explained to them it's pretty much the Blue Point equivalent, of Snap-on. It's still a full lifetime warranty, and everybody that I've talked to has had good luck with the expert stuff. So, and some people would ask, well, what's the advantage of buying Mac? And if you can get the same thing in expert, but they don't understand. Of course, it's not as good a quality as the Mac stuff, and maybe the fitment's not as good, but it does still carry the same lifetime warranty. So,
the Mac sockets they are a lot better metal. You use them every day, they're going to last longer. They're not going to wear as easy, whether it be where the anvil goes onto the anvil of your gun, or
it seems like that's where the downfall is on most impact sockets. The inside of the anvil starts beating the square portion up and it starts mushrooming in and out, which, man, I've taken my impact sockets to the grinder and ground off the back, you know, where it's got that, I call it a fin that sticks out, you know, on the back of it. And I just grind it off and keep going. I just, you know, I'm mostly warranty them out when they start, you know, stripping on the inside. I don't really worry about the backside that much, but I know the expert stuff that's always in the catalog is an extremely good deal. I mean, when you're selling, you know, tool truck tools kind of at the price that you would pay for, you know, gear wrench or anything else at a store, it's kind of hard to not purchase that kind of stuff. So
I mean, when you're buying a 42-piece 3/8 drive, metric standard, short, steep, universal joint and an extension for $225, $230 on an nice aluminum rack, you know, I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah. Which I've had a lot of guys comment that they use Mac, you know, they keep a lot of their Mac stuff in their box and then they'll buy the expert stuff to leave in their truck. And that's kind of what I did, you know, like with my sets that I have in my pickup, you know, I bought that Blue Point set because it's all in one case. It's easy to keep up with and you can just grab it and go with it. But, you know, I've been looking at I like those little 1/4 inch sets a lot because you can do a lot with those. And I've been looking at the expert 1/4 inch drive sets that y'all have like these, and they're nice little sets. I mean, for the money especially.
Yeah, and you know, especially if you want to put something in your truck or something like that, I mean.
Well, how many times have you went to Walmart, you know, and been in your personal vehicle and somebody's battery's dead? So I try to keep a jump box in there. I keep a set of impacts and lug nut sockets and all that because a lot of times on the way home, there'll be somebody on the side of the road or in a parking lot and they got a flat. You know, and it's usually, it seems to be just bad luck for, you know, a lot of older people especially. You know, they don't have, you know, the luxury of like us to be able to just jump out and do it and not really, you know, worry about it too much. But I tell you, one thing I do want to buy is a set of those lug nut lock sockets because there's a lot of cars that still have those stupid factory locks on there. And nobody knows where the darn key to it is, especially an older person. You know, they're like, I don't know.
A what? you know?
So, you know, but I try to, you know, and I have been, you know, across the street, you know, AutoZone's over there, and I've actually went over there to pick up parts before and been in my personal truck just to jump, like didn't even lock the shop, left it all open, run over there, grab something. Somebody be out in the parking lot trying to put a battery on, you know, and I'd grab that little 1/4 inch socket set, you know, try to help them out with it. But it's good to have that kind of stuff. So, do they make a lug nut lock key set?
We do. I actually sold one of those recently, and I don't think I've gotten another one back in. They actually had one in a flyer not too long ago.
Yeah.
I've got the lug nut socket set, but I don't think I have.
Leave it to me
To ask for something that's not in here.
that you don't have on here. But yeah, I think I'm going to buy one of those to throw in my pickup because it sure would make life easier.
I don't think
to
I've
not
got
have to
one
have
back
them
in
dig
since I
for the
sold that one.
keys for those. But anyway,
Another little neat thing that I don't think we've looked at on here is a finger saver.
Okay. Oh, for piercing wires, I see it's got the little. Oh yeah.
You take it, it's like an alligator clip style. You can pinch it over your wire, and it's got your different size probes in it.
Yep.
Where instead of, you know, trying to hold that wire and probe it, you know, you get your finger every time.
Their finger with that.
And then it's sore for 3 days, you know. That's just a neat little gadget that I saw on here that you might want to look at. So.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yep. That right there would be worth the money for sure, because everybody that's ever tried to probe a wire has stabbed that test light into their finger. You know, and I'm a big fan of liquid electrical tape.
That's one thing I've never used.
That stuff. Man, it's cheap, and a jar of it will last you forever. I mean, it really, really goes a long way. I think it's like 10 or 12 bucks for that little jar. And every time I poke a hole in a wire, I just brush that stuff on it, and you don't have to worry about it, you know.
Do you have to heat it to get it to cure or anything?
It's just like a liquid silicone, sort of. And it will go down in there, and you won't never have to worry about those green crusties and all the issues you have, you know. And like if you got an older vehicle, especially, you know, of course, us living in the South, we still work on 20 and 25 and 30-year-old trucks. A lot of times the wire coating will be, you know, just disintegrated, you know, from the age of it. Man, you just brush that stuff on there, and, you know, a lot of times you won't notice it's even cracked till you go to bend the wires, and that's when it starts popping off. And you just brush that stuff on there. And
I had a boat motor that I recently had those issues with.
Yeah, that stuff's worth its weight in gold. You know, liquid electrical tape. I love it. Like, it's as handy as never sees. Like, that's definitely two things everybody should have. And O-ring grease. I'm a big fan of O-ring grease. Where there even be Vaseline, just put some grease on the O-ring, and you know, little time saver. Heartache going down the road. What are those? It looks like snap ring pliers. But
it is.
They're funny looking. Little
Pretty neat little set. I want to say I got some of these coming up on a deal pretty soon.
I like the handles on them.
Really nice. You know, they're heavy duty made. You know, versus where
just shallow tips on it. That's what kind of threw me off a little bit.
And then that's a longer pair of them.
Oh yeah.
So they
those
do
are nice
pretty good.
right there.
And they'll come in a kit with these that are like this, and then they'll be the ones that you squeeze to pull them in as well.
Yeah.
All four in one package together.
You know, when I first started, I had a set of those cheap ones that you take the screw out and you flip it over, to make them internal or external snap ring pliers. And I don't know, I never was a big fan of those. Like, I bought the big sets like that's got the internal and external where they're fixed. You don't have to, they're not adjustable. Of course, on the service truck, just to save space, I use the adjustables on those, but I don't like using them. I prefer the fixed ones.
That's another little neat thing, that something different.
Gun.
It is. You just put it on a little propane bottle.
Yeah.
And it comes with, you can hook your wire there for you don't get too much heat to the rest of them. And then another pointed tip, but it's a neat little kit.
Yeah, that's a nice little setup right there. Man, that would be handy, like guys that do vinyl wrap. Just if anybody that's ever done any vinyl wrap knows that, stretching that vinyl is what makes a good wrap job versus a bad wrap job. And like when we used to letter our trucks and trailers, you could just take a little bit of that heat and put on there, and it would just suck it down around those rivets. Man, it made it look so much better. And I tried it with a propane torch, and it was just too hot, where that would do a lot better. And of course, you'd be out here in the parking lot trying to do it, so you'd have a 100-foot extension cord run out there and an electric heat gun, and that right there would make life a whole lot easier. If I was still doing that.
Because it's got the, it's got the tip like a heat gun on it. It's the, the big round tip to spread that,
Which the propane torch worked okay, but you had to keep in mind it was a flame. Like, you would scorch it in a heartbeat.
You have
if
to
you
stay back and blow that heat in there.
And a heat gun always worked better, but that would do real good. Especially like when we bought the 680s, they got the curve is, I guess it's called a compound curve, where it curves this way and it's curving this way. I'm just trying to put those vinyl decals on it, and it always want to have that little fine wrinkle that goes up through there, and you could take a heat gun, and heat it, and it would stretch around those curves. It just looked a whole lot better. So, which, I've got OCD. It's got to look right. Or, like, we have pulled the whole, huge huge vinyl lettering's off because of little wrinkles, or it got stretched or whatever, and it just bothered me. Of course, it was wasting money by re-lettering it, but that's kind of how it had to be. If it didn't look right, I didn't want it. So, but anyway, I guess I'm fixing to go and do this terrible job that's in store for me. It's always
At least it's a cooler week this week.
That's true. It is. This one's gonna be outside in a gravel parking lot, so it's even gonna be better.
Joy, joy.
That's it. All right, guys. Like always, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up. And check this over here. Cool Tools. Discount codes is in there. Merchandise is right over here. Click that subscribe button. It's totally free. It never costs you guys a dime. I'm going to get Michael to get me those lug nut lock sockets, and we're going to get back to work. Y'all have a good one. Catch you next time.